Hello, this is an impromptu go live. I'm just testing to see if I can hear myself before I start rambling because I've made that mistake so many times. I start talking and I'm pointing stuff left and right, and the next thing you know, yeah, I wasn't live. Nobody could hear me. So that's why I usually take some time to test it out to see if I can hear myself. Can anybody hear me? Yeah, I think I can hear myself. All right, so this is an impromptu go live. I'm not going to stay there for too long. I am just testing these new features that StreamYard has. It kind of give you a vertical and a horizontal play. So I'm testing it out how it is. I wanted to test it out on Streamlabs, but Streamlabs is a little bit more complicated. I'm still navigating my way around it. So once I get that set up in Stream Labs, I'll be able to start streaming from Streamlab at some point. But for now, we'll just bear with StreamYard for now. Let me see something here. Okay, so earlier today, when I came live on the stream, things were not set up correctly. It was glitchy and lagging, and I got locked out prematurely from Apex funding. I think the issues was coming from their end. I don't think it was coming from my end. But nonetheless, I had to reboot my machine and then making sure that everything is working correctly. All right, so let's take a look at this here. So remember earlier in the stream, if you watched it, the live stream, and we were around that area, and I did mention that sometimes you have all these difficulties, and then at some point, trading will just become much easier, and then it'll just trade in one direction, and then you'll make all the gains back, or it'll become so much easier. It'll be a low resistance liquidity. Well, that's essentially what happened. So there was a low resistance liquidity right at the Asian Open here at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then right at around 8 p.m. Eastern as well, we had a huge bump, and it was so quick. If you don't get in very quickly, and if you hesitate, you're gonna miss on all that. I did not miss on all of that, so I grabbed some of it, not the whole thing. So let me see if I can share my trades here. And obviously, I was getting butchered a little bit before that, but that's okay. Yeah, so this is what it looks like here. So I was going short all around here. Grab a couple short, and when I saw that it was coming dead at the stop on that bullish fair value gap here, I was able to reverse. So it stopped me out here. I was able to reverse, add a couple more, and I was able to take away some good ones right here, all the way until the top. right here. As you can see, went long here. See if I can zoom in. So put a couple trades here, and then grab a couple here. I don't know why. And I was just trying to set it up and then grab a couple here and grab a couple there. And then I just let it lapse over here. And then from there on, it's just been trading sideways. I mean, the moment that I saw that it traded into that gap, which is the New York 9 a.m. open fair value gap. And I mentioned earlier in the live stream, if you're able to watch it, if you watch at the beginning, I said I'm going to highlight this particular area here because there's a high probability it's going to come back to it. And look what it did. Sure did come back. And because I already identified it before, I was able to take out the majority of my trade off right here. And I just trailed the one. I just trailed it really tightly because I didn't want to lose all the trade that I made. Okay. So that's that. I mean, I think for right now, what they're probably gonna do for the rest of the night, they'll probably just go sideways. No big actions here. Yeah, but we can kind of like play around with it, have some fun. As you can see, I have multiple screens open. So we'll go ahead and trade the micro and see what it does from here. Yeah, so I do have a lot of um not I don't want to say indicators, but a lot of graphs, a lot of stuff that I plotted in my chart. And it's very helpful. As you can see, right at around I would say 6:51, it come out the dead stop. And I believe it came out the dead stop before too. Oh, okay, yeah, it was around 11 a.m. If I had that on my other chart, there was a lot of mental mistake I wouldn't make. So, and this one right here, this yellow, this is a daily liquidity void or a daily liquidity gap. I apologize, guys. I'm a little bit under the weather, so my throat is not the best here. All right, let's check out this media here. Okay, so we want to identify. So what this yellow thing is about. So let's take a quick look at it. As you can see, there was a lot of price action around it, and right before it, obviously right after it, jump around, trade it straight through it, and right around 11 a.m. bounce on it twice, went up, and then this is 9 a.m. open fair value gap right here, the green and the red here. If I double click on it, you'll see the first fair value gap. It wasn't at 9 a.m. It was actually at 1 p.m., 1:33 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th. That was last week. So all these gaps that are here, they are still being used later on in your trading, like in your trading path. That one was open on Tuesday, November 4th, and it's still valid. It's still being traded around it, even way after. Okay, so this one, I double click on it. So daily liquidity void between October 24th and October 27th. So as you can see, this is still affecting your trade. So if you don't have this on your trade, you will not know why it stopped here, why it went up, why it come back down here again. Like you wouldn't know. You don't know why it's doing all this moving around. You know what I mean? So when I had my trade earlier on and it started going up and up and up, I took the majority of my trade here. The reason why I took the majority of my trade off of here is because I already know once you get into that gap, it's going to stop or slow down or reverse. And then that's why I trail my stop all the way up and then knock me out, which is fine. So Let me take it on the daily and show you what this big yellow thing looks like. See? When it's not as glitchy, it's very easy for me to just slide it on to the left and then you'll be able to see. So that big yellow dashes that you were seeing, this is what this represents. So between October 24th, I don't know if that's a Tuesday or Wednesday. Let me check. October 24th is a Friday, and October 27th is a Monday. Okay. So there was a big gap. So it closed up here at 25,508 around that area. And then there was a big open at 20. Jeez, can I see this? 25,698. So there was a big gap on the daily. So that big gap, I mean, it's glaring. You have to pay attention to it. You have to notice it. You have to identify it, and then you have to plot it in your chart, and then you have to drag it all the way until the end of the year, probably even until next year. So let me see if I have it until next year. So I have it until November 14th. So I will probably, and I make sure I lock it so it make sure it doesn't move. So I have it on, I will have it until the end of Christmas. So yes, so that gap here will affect your trade for the next 3 to 6 months. No lie. It will come around it, play around it, and all of that. So if I'm not saying I'm going to remove it, but I'm going to try to see if I can find another plot. So as you can see this? Man, clean. If you look at my line here, it's undeniable how price moves around this. See? Come here, dead on the stop. So open here, lower. Open here, up, rejection block, lower. Open, and then now it's trading up. Now, what is it trying to do at this point? More than likely trying to go up for these areas right here. It's still bullish. No matter how many of these candles that you see drop, it's still bullish. Why? Because you went inside of that range here. And let me draw it out. It's probably best if I can draw it out. So this is the range I'm talking about. You ran inside of that range, which is on October 10 when you had that big drop where a lot of people in crypto lost a lot of their money, drop into that 50% and bounce back up. And we have this big green candle. Now, with that being said, if I were to trade long term, what I would want is I would want to make sure that price trade up and then come back on top of this, which is at 25 722, and then keep going higher. That's what I would want. However, when we are looking at the dollar, it seems like the dollar is trying to come out of its consolidation and trying to head up. So, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant. I mean, I'll scalp here and there, but if I were to trade long term, man, I would be careful. And I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, like trading right now, it felt nothing glitchy, nothing is slow. It feels smooth right now. I like this. Compared to this morning, I just wanted to close the live stream. Now I feel a lot more comfortable. Everything was rebooted. Everything looks good. Everything feels smooth. All right, so let's take a look at that. Actually, that is not what I wanted to look at, but that's okay. We can take a look at that one too. Dollar. Can I have my chart for the dollar? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Okay, so we'll use that, and I will come back to that. what do we have here? DXY. So when I'm saying that, I said the dollar is in the consolidation, this is what I'm talking about. This is the range. It's from this level to this level, but precisely in this particular area right there. And I put in that fib a long time ago, like right on July, and then I just put it and I say forget it. It keeps going in consolidation. It keeps going lower and lower, and now it seems like it's trying to come out of it. So I don't know exactly what it's doing. I mean, if we have a big surge, we see the dollar prices just shoots up and stay up, and then take out this high. Yeah, Nasdaq might be in trouble, and also I think gold might be in trouble as well because remember it's the dollar index against all other assets. So I'm watching out for this particular area, the level of 101,997. Let's get, yep, 101,977. I mean, we have a little bit more to go in order to get in that area. But if the dollar were to trade up above this high and then we twist a little bit and then keep going back up, boy. So we could see some down heavy price action for NASDAQ. So let's compare this to NQ on the weekly. Obviously, as you can see, has NASDAQ as dollars trying to go up. NASDAQ is taking a plunge here. Yeah, but we'll wait and see how price pan out. I mean, if you were to trade the dollar, I mean, it is a very in a heavy area. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So obviously, this instrument is not pumping and playing around because it's looking at the regular hours. The tick is for the regular hours. So all the volume is not in the market right now because it's electronically being traded. So you will not see any movement in these particular areas here. But however, all other instruments, the S&P, the Nasdaq, and the Dow, they're still trading after hours. And I believe the dollar also at some point stopped trading and then it opens up. But I haven't been able to track what is the time frame of that. But I think it closes temporarily and then open backs up. And I believe the VIX is trading as long as all these instruments are trading. So why do I have the VIX and the dollar? The VIX is telling me about the volatility, how volatile the market is. Obviously, it's been quite elevated. And if you can see the inverse correlation between the VIX and or the other instruments here, as long as the VIX is going up, and then you have your other instrument like the Nasdaq or the S&P is going down on the downtrend. So at some point, I will provide a little bit more details about the VIX and what it does and the different numbers. Like if there's a huge spike up to the number, I think the number is 44. What you'll see over here is you'll see like a big, it'll drop also on the thousands and it'll just stay there. I mean that means there's a big melting in the market coming up right now. The VIX up, tick low in the negative thousands, and then it stay there for a long time. It's trouble. I've seen it live multiple times. There is another um, leading indicator that I wanted to share is the fear and greed index. I'm not sure how reliable that is, provided it's coming from CNN. Yeah, but it is something that I also use. I mean, I don't use it all the time. So where are we right now? Let me try to see if I can share my screen. Ah, sweet. Look where it's at. Fear. So this is where we are right now. It's at a fear, and the index level is at a fear right now. So now here's my thing right here, man. And you gotta listen and pay close attention to this. So we have a market at its all-time high. People are making a lot of money. Why is the fear index why the greed and fear? Why is it on fear? It should be on greed, I would think. At least on greed or neutral. That means a lot of people have a lot of negative sentiment about the market. People are feeling that the market is overvalued. Um, so I mean, does that mean that things are gonna melt or go down? Not necessarily, but they kind of like give you a sentiment of what's going on in the market. Let me see. A week ago, speak. Sorry about that. A year ago, it was a lot of greed in the market, but right now, currently, for the past month or so, it's been a lot of fear, and rightfully so. I mean, people are, losing their job, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So I can totally understand where that comes from. Let's see here. Let's drop down to 1 minute. Why do I feel like every time I come online here in the platform, I am not getting the right opportunity to trade? All right, so normally I usually wait 45 minutes before the hour. So I'm gonna try to see if I get some price action 45 minutes before, and if not, I will just cut this off. Okay. All right, so we have a big range here. So we got into the 50% of that range, and it had a nice back up, a nice bounce back up. So let's take a look at this one and see where we are. So the overlap between the PM range and the AM range on Tuesday, when last week, I bet you, yeah, of last week. So where this come from? Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Yeah, ta-da! Did it take it out? Oh, I think it did. No, actually it didn't. So on Tuesday last week, Tuesday, November 4th, this is the AM range. Oh, let me zoom in because you can see. Because I'm having trouble seeing it. Okay. Yeah, with all these lines. Does this thing blind you? Not really. I'm used to it. All right. So we have the AM range from this level here, which is 25,895, and then the next level is 25,661. And there's another overlap here for the PM range. And the overlap I just highlighted with this red and gold dash. And what I'm going to do is just slide it over and kind of show you in between that overlap, Most of the time, I would like to say 70 to 90% of the time when price trade in it or around it, it's been in consolidation. All right, so from November 4th until today, let's go. Let's just slide. We're gonna slide it slowly. All right, keep on sliding. There you go. Bam. Got into that range. Got into that overlap between the AM session and the PM session. What do you see? A lot of consolidation. And respecting that level right here. See this? Sheesh. Right there. Okay. But yeah, let's keep on sliding. Let's go. So what day is this? So this is November 5th. Trade around it. There was very little consolidation, but still trade around it quite a bit. Same thing here. A lot of consolidation in between the lines. Drop, consolidate below the line, and then went inside of it and start trending up. And I believe this is a okay. So this is a New York Open. Get inside of it, boom, plunge. See, and that date is November 6th. Still in play. Nothing, 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 nothing. Bam. Got into it, trade inside of it a little bit, drop. Respect the levels. Respect the levels. And to be honest with you, in that particular area right there, there's a high level time frame that is also referring to. Could be the daily, could be the weekly. So I will leave that up to you to do some homework and assignment on that. And that level is, let me double click on it, 25,691 and 25,661. This is like a 30 points range. Okay. You take a look at that particular area, 25,691, 25,661, and then you plot it on your chart, and then you'll see the correlation in the higher time frame. I haven't done it, but I am very positive there's a higher time frame reference to it because it's going around it a lot. See? Got inside of it, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. Ooh, this is a long one. So from 2354 on November 10, yeah, this is like a 3 hour consolidation. Oof, I would not want to get caught in that. More consolidation around it. I mean, jeez. See, that's why these overlaps between the AM session and the PM session, you cannot overlook them. You can't. You cannot afford to do so. So let me make it much bigger so you can see this is not cherry pick. Well, bloop, flow to it. And then now, here we are right now, consolidating inside the same range, that 30 point range that we've identified since since November 4th. Yeah, this, my friend, is not cherry pick. This is not a hazard. This is well scripted. So what we are going to do, since that thing is inside of that liquidity void, it's also playing a major role in it. So that's why we're also getting all this consolidation. So you have um, two sessions overlap, and it's inside of a liquidity void, a daily liquidity void, which is this big yellow dash and that big yellow dash. You're gonna get all of that. Okay. Now, if I would like to trade, my question is always is when should I do it? Not where. It's like when. So I'm waiting for this price window to see if there's an opportunity at 11:45. What would I aim for? Well, right now it is in a premium, okay, and it make the attempt to go to a discount level, and it rejected it, went back up. But what I'm saying is it did not clear these highs over here. So I'm thinking if it's not trying to clear this high here, it's gonna attempt to go much lower. So let's wait and see. So my perfect scenario would be if I'm going long below this line, which is 25,634, and then I will aim for 25,695. So far looking at this, that condition for me to trade does not favor me at all. It's nowhere near my level. It's not trading up here to go short, and it's not trading down here to go long, which is why you get butchered when it's not in a very good condition. You get this. You get butchered all in the middle. It's hesitant. You don't know where it's going. You got all these wicks. You got all this overlaps. Yeah, it's not gonna work well for you. So you just gotta sit tight and wait. Now, what I can do in order to entertain you guys a little bit, so what I can do is probably put one contract and see how it fails out. Okay? Because telling you this and that and the third, I know it's not good, but you wanna see some actions. You wanna see what's going on. Alright, let me put my trade right here and see what it does. Actually, let me put two. I like to put two. Now, this is the other dilemma. Okay, so if you put a short order here, that means you're thinking that it's gonna go up there. While it's going up there, why can't you just go long from here? That's a valid point. That is a valid point. But the thing is, you cannot be present in all the trades. You're gonna have to pick a side. You gotta pick a side. So what may end up happening, it may go up here and then keep going higher and higher. All right. So to me, my favorite spot to the turtle soup would be here. Like you can go up right here and you just clean it up right here and then go short. That would be nice. That's what I would love to see. Now, will it get up there? I don't know. See that? Very, very slow, very lethargic. And this is one of the things. If you go long, let's just say I go long here. Okay. Let's let's be devil's advocate here. Let's just say I go long right here on that level. See, I'm already below the line. Went long here. Guess what? Now it's retracing. It's not helping. So the best spot if you're trying to go long is maybe to put a buy order right here. But don't be mad if it comes out and clear you out and go much lower. Okay? And also, To me, it feels like there are some unfinished business up here. So you leave all these highs here, and you have all these wicks, all these lower highs here. To me, this is prime candidate that there are some unfinished business, and then that at some point is gonna come back up and clear those stops. Because what happened is a lot of people went short from here. They put the stops here. Some people put the stops here. Some people put the stop here, and they think and they feel like they're safe. And like I always said, this market is like a cannibal. It eats stop loss for lunch. So what it's going to do is go relatively lower and then come back up in the vengeance and clear all your stops. That's what it's gonna attempt to do. Okay? So yeah, if I had went long here, so I'm already underwater right here. So how helpful would that be? See? And then now if I go short from here, it's gonna attempt to go higher. Gotta pick a side. You gotta pick a side and you have to wait for the right time. See? Now it's surging up. Now how far up is it going to go? Again, if I were to go long, my ultimate best scenario is go long from here, try to go short from right here. It's gonna attempt to go higher and higher. It's gonna give you the idea, and that is gonna keep going higher and higher and higher. And boom, you get disappointed, and then it'll go back lower. However, let's take a look at this. This is why I'm saying I favor for it to go long, even though I have a short stop here. We have all this unfinished business here. We got unfinished business. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So we have unfinished business here, one right here. And we also have unfinished business right on top here. Okay. So which is why I'm favoring for it to go long. But before it does that, I feel like it's just gonna do a little bit more carnage before it actually go long. Nice. Um, yeah, it's a lot of waiting. Yeah, trading is not exciting. It is not an exciting endeavor. That's a lot of waiting. That's a lot of pros and cons. That's a lot of closing the chart and walk away from the market. Yeah, so it's a lot of being patient. So there's a lot of that going on. Yeah, let me take out that limit order and try to see what is going on right here. So what I'm waiting for is price to give me a confirmation. Is it gonna go? Is it going to trade above this and go in a little bit of consolidation here, and then that will give an opportunity for it to go higher? Or is it gonna clear the stops right here and then go much lower? I'm waiting for that confirmation. All right, let me see if I can make some of this less bright. Okay, 20. Ooh, yeah, that's much better. Okay, let me put that one at 20 as well. Yeah, that's a little bit easier on the eye. Come on, man. Give me a play. Give me a play. See, if I had went long in that particular area, I would still be underwater. It's not very decisive at all. Yeah. So let's see. That spot right there. Didn't even clear that. So there's, there's this particular area. It seems like a bounce on that one. Right at 152. Okay. It's coming up on that time. It's getting close to 45. It really is at 50, but 45 is when you kind of like you need to identify what is it trying to do. Okay. What is it trying to respect here? Very lethargic. Okay, yeah, let's cover another topic that we can talk about while this thing is taking its sweet time in here. Not a big fan of this. Alrighty. Again, it's the same setup. Looking at seasonal tendencies, looking at the dollar, checking for the same things, looking at the different levels. So where are we right now? Are we following the same path of the seasonal tendencies? Seems like there was a little small drop here, like a little bit of sideways price action from the 12 to the 13. Is it gonna try to go up here and clear out this high over there? To me, I think that's what it's going to attempt to do because we have all this unfinished business here and there, and price is still bullish. And we are in the fourth quarter, so I don't anticipate that it will drop. Even if it drops, it will not be a major drop. It will be probably to the half of it and then go back up. Okay. If you look at the dollar, this is the average. Nothing exciting here. But as you can see, if you look at your dollar in your pocket, if you're using the US dollar, now if you're in a foreign country, you probably won't understand. But if you live in the United States, you can see the power of your dollars keep going down. And as you can see, okay, keep dropping. Now, what is also kind of worrying me is what I'm saying is that the dollar is coming out of its consolidation. It's been making a lot of strides to go up, and Nasdaq has been dropping at the same time. So just because the dollar is going up doesn't mean the Nasdaq will automatically drop, but there's this very strong correlation. Okay, because you can have two scenarios where the dollar is going up and also Nasdaq is going up as well. So both scenarios can be true. Okay, I mean that's why I said the market is heavily manipulated. So Even though it's a wide word of wisdom to say, oh, okay, if dollar goes down, everything else goes up. But that doesn't mean you're gonna say it at all time like that all the time. Okay. So how do I add this on here? Let me see. And I'm trying to see. Well, I guess I'll probably have to create a separate video on how you can create this graph over there if you find it useful. But essentially, you just have to go into your style and let's see, and then click on seasonality, and then he'll be able to graph it for you, and then he'll compare the average over the past 20 years and then what is currently going on right now. Obviously, the red one is, as you can see, on top of here. Just keep your eyes here. So the red one is the average, and then the green one is current, what is going on right now. And it's very apparent by the graph is not finished for the rest of the year, and the red one is finished for the rest of the year. So that's what this one is about. Look at that. And I missed it. So if I had went long here, yep, I would have been up, but that's okay. I missed out on all of that. So if you missed out on all of this, what do you do? Do you say, oh man, I panic, the world's about to fall apart? No. So what you do, you look at this relative equal highs here. You just put your trade right here. And especially if you have this big up candle here, there's a very high probability it's not gonna go back down, but stranger things have happened. Yeah. So I guess if I had went long here, there's very little retracement, but it wasn't my play anyway. This is why I'm saying that not every single play is your play. What I wanted to see is another retracement lower around this area or maybe at that area ultimately, and then to ride it up. Okay. Let's see how we're doing on time. So yeah, I was waiting for the time at 1:11:45, but it seems like it's still going without me. So yeah, I can still hear myself. This is good. I'm just checking, testing the sound. So yeah, so kind of like went up without me. I put my order here, so I'm waiting to see if it's going to drop lower right here, but it doesn't seem like it will. Come on, man. Yeah, so if you miss your trade, don't try to chase it. I mean, resist the urge to try to chase it. Um, because it's gonna feel like, oh, it's gonna miss the train. I'm going to miss the train. It's gonna leave without me. And this is the psychological part of it of trading, right? Because it's gonna feel like it's gonna go without you. You're gonna have FOMO, and you cannot have FOMO here. If it lives without you, if you feel like you have egg in your face, then okay, it's egg in your face. Like there's plenty of setups here. Don't feel like you missed out on anything. There's plenty of setup. Okay, plenty of setup. Plenty. I said setup here, a short from here to go lower. It may not give me a whole lot of range, but it's a good play as well. There's this opportunity to go long from here. That's another opportunity. Um, and there's this play right here. So I'm waiting for it to drop a little bit so it can give me an opportunity to go long. But what can happen as well, it can drop and still hit my stop loss. See how aggressive it's dropping right now? Very aggressive. A little too aggressive for me. Yeah. See if I had went long 677. Yeah, that's a nice little play here. Trying to see if we can come out of that. So the other play I can do is, let's say for example it comes out of this and then there's a big green candle here. I can place a trade inside of that big green candle at the half of that big candle to go up. But apparently it doesn't seem like that's what it's trying to do. Still, price is still getting pushed down a little bit more. All right, I'm keeping this on so I can kind of give you guys some entertainment because I have to at least place a trade, right? Put on something so we can see what you got. Do not measure yourself by the amount of trade you can take. Okay, this it is not a competition. What you're trying to do is take a piece of this market. You're like a big fly on a big elephant. You're just coming in, try to take a little piece of it, a piece of flesh, get your pound, and get out. Do not linger around. Now, when you have 6, 10 years of experience, then you can turn this into a competition. Maybe. I'm sorry. All right, we are in now. I feel like I may suffer a whole lot of retracement. Now let's see if we can trade up outside of this range. Actually, you know what? Let me target this. This look like a nice little spot that I can get. There we go. Let's see if he's going to muster the courage to get there. So it's only 2 micros. Nothing to cry about. So if I leave it here, it will be about what, $102. Low risk, high reward. Alright. The reason why I keep moving the graph like this because I want to have a panoramic view on what's going on. Okay, so far it looks like price is holding. I want to make sure that I can zoom in hard enough so you can see. But I think this is all the zooming power that I have right now. So usually I risk about, let me see, 20 points to make 50. And along the way, I try to get a partial. And if, what's this, 180? Yeah, 182. So if I leave that on one, and then if it keeps going up, it's going to be about $182. Listen, man, if you can do this consistently every day with your own money and then you reach your target, I know, yeah, it's $100. If you get with a mini, that'll be what, 1,000 or $1,800. Wouldn't be that bad. But the thing is, on the downside, it could be a lot of risk. At the end of the day, what you want, the number one thing is to preserve your capital, preserve your mental capital, and also consistency, the consistent setup. Okay, that's what's more important. And then the only way you're gonna preserve your capital is to find consistent setup where you have a higher probability of being successful. That's what's important. Even if you're in a competition, you're gonna need to be able to find the logic, the setup, the time frame, the mind frame to find something that is consistent, that's gonna bring you a lot of wins. You cannot not lose in trading. You're gonna lose, but you want to make sure that your wins outweigh your losses. Anybody here? Give me a give me a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. All right, while this one is cooking over here, let me try to see if I can share some other topic with you all. Oh man, it's almost an hour. Man, time go by fast when you live stream. Jeez. Yeah, I feel like I only covered two topics, and it's just like forever. Let's see here. What are the things I would like to cover? Oh yeah, let's take a look at let's take a look at gold. See where we at. Hmm. I was expecting any retracement earlier today, but that's fine. Let's take a look at the daily for gold. See, it's not glitchy. It's smooth, nice and smooth. Love that. Yeah, it seems like it's at the same level last time I checked earlier this morning. It's just right at the same level. Went up and retraced a little bit. Yeah, that particular area is what's going to make or break gold, along with the dollar. Yeah. So what's going to make it if it trade above it and then come back and then trade higher. That's what's going to make it. What's going to break it is it stays, all the bodies stay inside of it, stay in consolidation. Ooh. If it stay in consolidation in that daily gap here, yikes. Yeah, man. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But that's that. Let's go back to NASDAQ, see what's cooking in here. Yeah, I know. This looks a mess. Okay, so we got 10 points. It looks like it's going up. Again, my target is right here, which more than likely will be a turtle soup. Turtle soup is it's a phrase coined by Linda Reschke. And I'm really bad with the names. Rashke, that's right. I'm looking at the book. Yeah, she coined the term turtle soup. Pretty much, I think it's if you have a 20-day moving average, and then price been trading higher and higher, you can put a short order or a long order for that matter, right? Either or, okay, and then it'll just tip your short order and then quickly going down. So that's what I mean by turtle soup. The reason why I think this will be a turtle soup, and I mean that it will just tip on that sell stop and go lower, is because there's a wick here and this body is higher than this wick. So I think it's just gonna just tag it going along. Okay. And now it's retracing inside of that range again. Which is why sometimes I usually try to get my partial at like right at the 10 marks. Is because I'm kind of impatient dealing with those type of price action. So the price action that I really like is those quick, sudden, and to the point. Oh, this one was nice and sweet. I love that one. That's the one I like. That's the one I strive to get into. Those, I really don't care about those. I mean, if it wasn't for me live streaming, I wouldn't even get into that trade. I would just close it off and go goof off somewhere. Okay. Anybody on the live chat, say hello. Don't be shy. I don't bite. Matter of fact, challenge me on these things. I want to see a challenge. I would like to say, hey, some of this stuff don't make sense. Can you break this down? And if I don't have the answer for it right now, I'll go research for it, and provide you what you'd like to see. Is there a live chat open? I'll put the comments on the stage. No. Please feel free to drop any comments, questions, anything you'd like to see. Let me know if you'd like to see why I put in my trade here, instead of anywhere else and not chasing it. The reason why I put my order limit here is because there's a high and there's a lower high here. And there's usually a high probability for price to retrace into those zones, into that area. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it to retrace lower like that, because usually when you have this big gap here, it usually just take off. Okay, and most of the time, sometimes when I see big candle like this and then they retrace, I usually avoid the trade altogether, because what I'm trying to see is when I see this big candle, I want it to just keep on taking off like a launch pad, like a missile, like this. You see how this big candle, big green candle here, like it took off and never trade through it again. Trade to the half of it, and that's it. And then just keep going sideways. To me, that's a little bit problematic that it come back. I mean, it wasn't, as long as a long candle like this one, but still long enough. The fact that to me it would trade so much lower, and this is why I'm getting this. Like if it was like a good long candle where it wasn't going to retrace lower like this, it would just keep on taking off like this one. I like those when they just take off like this. So you know what? I think it's probably best that I live stream one this time. To be honest, it's quieter, it's less glitchy, it's just smooth. I mean, I feels like I'm in my elements. So I don't know. I'll test it a couple more time and see. But this one was impromptu, and then it was more like for me picking up my face from what happened earlier in the stream, and I mean it was glitchy. I mean, yeah, everything was bad. My mouse was dying. It wasn't good at all. So I'm like, you know what? And they have a new feature for Stream Yard, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me test it out and see how it is. All right. So now we are the midnight open. So midnight open is highly significant. Okay. This is the start of a new day. Where's the midnight open? So the one that says 00, yep, that one. So I am not going to put anything on it because there's already a line drawn on top of it. But that midnight open, and it is very significant. You always want to identify your midnight open. To be honest with you, let me just do that. So this is the candle. This is the open. Can I zoom in? Let me zoom in more. Oh no, that. Yeah, I don't care now what it's doing right now. So red candles, they open on top and then traded lower. Okay, so the open is on top. For the green candle, the open is at the bottom. The open and trade up. So this is the midnight candle right here. I'm sure there's a lot more secrets about the midnight open, but one thing I know, if it's bullish, what price will do is trade below the midnight open. Not significantly lower, but it'll trade low below it and try to collect all the sell stops that are below it, and then try to go back up. All right, let's make this line big. Pause. And I will probably drag it all until Friday. Actually, let me make it even bigger than that and call it Thursday midnight open. Yeah, you gotta take notes about because sometimes you see those lines, you're like, what does this line mean? And then you double click on it, it's a generic name like line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have to figure out where it comes from. Yeah, it's pain. So while you put the line here, you might as well just put the name Thursday, midnight open. What's that? 11:13. Okay? Eastern. Bam, just like that. And guess what? Right on that open is doing a lot of consolidation. Not at this point. Yeah, I'm really losing patience. Like I said, the moment that price would trace so much lower below the half of that candle, it's problematic. Come on, just get to it already. And this is why I keep my stop loss still way much lower because it's very undecisive. I want price to trade above that yellow, then I'll move my stop loss. Yeah, it's taking all this sweet time to go. And like I said, trading is not fun and exciting. This is not the time you put in your jazz, well, not your jazz, not your rock or your rap, because it's going to get you all wired up. And then while this thing is moving so slow, this is probably the time you listen to your classical music, put your headphone on, and then you just put your thing like this, and then you just walk away. Yeah, because if you worry about the ups and downs and all that stuff, you're gonna get wrecked. Or if you don't want to have a complete loss, what you can do is move your stop loss high like this, so you can cover a commission. What is this? Yeah, how about I move it up 2 points? That should work. I don't want to put it too high because what will happen is it'll just tag your stop loss and then go in the direction that you wanted. So I can, as long as I have like a 2 points buffer to cover my commission fees and all that, I think I'm good. See, even if you're on the right side of the trade, it's still not exciting. But what I do find exciting though is this. Oh man, that was exciting. I like that. All right, looks like it's getting there. It just feels good. And when you see just price just went in the straight shot, one line, you made it happen. It looks good. It feels good. But those, mm, Yeah, that's why you put it and then you walk away, you go drink your coffee, you jog, you go to sleep. Yep. So looks like it's about to reach that level right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right. Yeah, I cannot control how fast it goes. I can only get in and cover my commissions. The funny thing about what happened is they'll probably get real close to it and not tag it and they'll go lower. Oh man, isn't that something? Happens all the time. Which is why I'm constantly checking to say, okay, did I put it at the right spot? I don't want it to get close and not get there. So it's just like, should I put it a little bit lower? It really doesn't matter. It'll just get real close to it and not tag it. I mean, if I had put my limit order here, see how close it got to it, and it still didn't get there. Now you wonder what is all this retracement about? Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Let's take a look at the economic calendar. See what we have cooking for next week. And it seems like the economic calendar, the calendar day, is kind of like looking different right now. It's asking me for a demo. The free thing you used to have, it doesn't seem like I have access to it anymore, which sucks. Everything now is a subscription. Okay. Oh, seems like it's back. Hold up. Oh, never mind. I already bad mouthing them for no reason. Hey man, sorry. I'm just tired of the subscription and BS and all that. Okay, November 13th. We have CPI tomorrow at 8:30. I would not wanna be part of any of that. If you wanna preserve your sanity, I mean, unless you absolutely know what you're doing, you have the insider knowledge about what direction is going to go. My best advice is stay out, clear out, not even demo, just stay out. Because what happened is when you use your demo account and then let's just say 10 times you've tried it, it works in your favor. And then you're gonna try to do it with real money. All it's going to take is that one time to mess you up, and you're gonna have a bad day. So me, avoid it. I avoid it. Okay. So this week is been real quiet until tomorrow morning at 8:30. Normally though, what I've been seeing in the past, it seems like CPI tends to trade in one direction. That means if it's gonna go up, it'll just go straight up like a big green candle, and then there'll be very little to no wick if it needs to trade up. And then if it's going down, it's just gonna be a one big candle down. Like a 1 minute, it can move between 100 to 1,000 points. Your stop loss is not going to help you. I mean, if you watched the live stream earlier today, you probably saw how my wicks or my orders, and the little things they were moving around a lot. I mean, it feels like it was glitchy. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Those small little arrows and that small little arrow over there kept moving around, and it was glitchy. It'll hit it before you actually get there. Like your CPI on your chart, this is what it's going to look like. It's, your stop is going to look there, and then it's just going to jump right over your stop. And it's going to, if you're on the wrong side, it's going to wreck you. But at the same time, if you're on the right side, ooh, this is the sweetest money you ever gonna make. And if you try this on the demo, it's gonna give you a false confidence that you know what it's doing. Some people do know how to do it. I mean, I kind of have an idea how to do it, but it's too dangerous. It's too premature. And then it's just the level of risk that's involved is just way too high. It's best that you kind of like trade 15 minutes after, and then you'll be able to take it from there. How did I jump into that conversation? Oh yeah, it was because of CPI, and then we have PPI on Friday, and then you have business inventories, which is not no big deal there. Usually, when you have PPI and consumer confidence, usually what you have between 8:30 and 10 a.m. is a lot of whipsaw. It's a lot of manual intervention. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of wicks. It's a very difficult market to trade to. So again, if you see like a PPI and then a confidence or consumer confidence, yeah, if you see like a lot of high resistance conditions, stay out. Yeah, that like trading is like a bad road. It's just like you have your 4x4, and then you trying to drive in a rough terrain. You don't know if you're gonna get into a mud, a puddle, um, or if the road is gonna end suddenly. You may not have enough brake, so you do need to know the problematic areas, when the market is going to be bad, when to stay out of it. These are all the stuff that's gonna preserve your sanity, and and then keep your account at a very respectable level and not lose a lot of money. You got to know when to stay away from it. I am waiting for this thing to get there, and it's just not happening. Should I just keep this live stream on all the way until the morning? Maybe that's what I need to do. Just keep it on and then wait for CPI. I feel like I will probably lose a lot of subscribers doing it that way. Just walk away. That would be fun. Yeah, usually that's why sometimes when I upload some videos, I have it recorded at 210, sometimes even 20x speed. It's because it takes so long. And I know most people are not gonna sit through watching a video or watching a live stream for like what 3 4 hours for a trade to pan out, which is why I kind of compress it. Yeah, when you see me posting those shorts for like 1 minute, it's usually like an hour or 30 minutes. I'm compressing it into 1 minute. And then it looks like yeah, it looks like, it's exciting, and then you pressing button. It's not exciting. It's just time compression. And then the software that I use to compress those files, what's the name of that? Oh, Bandicam. That's what it's called. I mean, you can use any other tools. But yeah, I record it and using a different tool, and then I kind of compress it. So it took a 30 minutes or 1 hour or 4 hour video, and then you can increase the compression up and down the ladder. You can take a 12 hour. recording video and then compress it into 1 or 2 minutes. Now, obviously, it's gonna look ridiculous. You're gonna see a whole lot of stuff jumping around, but it can be done. But having a live stream up doing this, probably not a good idea. All right. So this price action here kind of reeks of what I mentioned earlier, problematic areas. It will trace too low. What I wanted to say is just a quick retracement like this, and then boom, take off. Because I did not get a quick retracement and then a takeoff, you're gonna get that. Okay. All right, so right now it's way outside of the midnight open range here. Well, not the open range, but outside of that macro time. I'm just ready to close it. Yeah, it's not gonna get there anytime soon. Yeah, once I get that partial, it's a wrap ski. I'm just gonna shut it down. Again, what is this mark here? Double click on it. Hopefully I put some annotation here. There you go. It is the first gap at 9:30 today. Okay. And then in this morning live stream, I mentioned that this particular area will get revisited, and it got revisited 1, 2, 3, and now 4 times. And I'm anticipating that it's gonna keep going higher, aiming for the highs of 25,809. When is it going to get there? That will depend on London Open. London is probably gonna open in about an hour or so at 1:30. I won't be there. Hope not. So we mentioned. Remember earlier, I said it's gonna get real close and deny. There you go. Here comes the games. The games and the shenanigans. Now, what you may end up seeing, it may just one shot get to the middle of this gap here. Where's the middle of the gap? Yeah, let's find out. Okay, that's just in one shot. It may get to that middle. Let's see. All right, so me, I'm just gonna keep moving my stop loss higher because I'm not gonna sit around and wait all this wait and not get a little piece of this if it drop. Because you can look at this and it can just drop like a big one red candle and then completely drop. I've seen it happen. So if it get dropped, let's see, so 84, 94, that'll be like a 10 points gain. Yeah, I would hate for that to happen. Or at least if I can get that partial. See? This is like how what I didn't want 710, 25 710. I mean, what is 25 710 over there? I mean, well, like, really. So you can just clear that 25, 7, 10, 75. You can just clear it with one shot. Come on, dude. Come on. So, but back to what I mentioned earlier, the retracement is too low. Like all this small little candle does all those sideways. This is problematic. This is not things you would want to participate in. Um, I mean, it's great. It's marching slowly but surely. But imagine if you could just get there in what 3 minutes compared to an hour. I mean, it's still better than working at Popeyes and getting minimum wage, but still, that's a long time to wait to go to this. But now that I'm thinking about it, now imagine with just very low risk, two micros, and then it's equivalent to a check. You can work almost a full day at your minimum wage job. Think about it. 50 points, two micros, low risk. If you can find it consistently, how far would that get you? And that's just for one session. There are multiple sessions. So there's the Asian session, New York, London, and then the New York itself has a AM and PM. So that's four, literally four sessions. Multiply by five, gives you 20 sessions in a week. And then you got 4 weeks, sometimes five. So 20 times four, that's 80 sessions. So I think that's right. I think the math is right. So 20 sessions a week. Yeah. Yep. 4 times 2. Yeah, that's 80 sessions in a month. So in a whole month, you got 80 sessions, 80 opportunities to make it work. And I'm just using one session. And Asian sessions start at 6 p.m., maybe until like 1:30 a.m., I would say. And then you have London session from 1:30 all the way, I'll say, until 6, 7 a.m. And New York session, 7 a.m. until noon. And then PM session starts from 1:30 all the way until 4. You can make it work. But they all have their own characteristics, the own way to deal with. I think London session is I think London session is pretty bad, but some people are used to it. Yeah. So this sucker tied me out. Um, kind of like anticipate that. Maybe it's by my fault. Maybe I dragged it a little bit too high. Like it really wanted my stop loss. I mean, why didn't it go much lower here? I mean, why did it come like right here and tag me out and then just switch race higher? If you didn't think there were any proof here that those things target your stop loss, here's your proof right there. I mean, you do you need any more proof than this? Yeah. Target my stop loss and then which race higher. Is it gonna come back lower? I don't care. What I'm saying is it targeted to the tick. Let me zoom in more. It targeted to the tick and then went back up. So this is those type of things that I see, and I say, you know what? When you have this high here, and then you bump it out like this, it's significant because a lot of people put the stop loss here, and it target it, just like it target my stop loss right here. I mean, if you ask me, like, why here? Why didn't it just target it and keep going lower? You know what I mean? So this is kind of like how you need to think about the market. What's going on here? Why did it go sideways? Why did it, target all any stop loss that were there and keep going back lower? Now, why did it target my stop loss and then never come back lower and then it's gonna keep going higher from here? It needs liquidity. It needs your stop loss. The market feeds on your stop loss. Now, I didn't get tagged at a loss because where did I enter? I entered right here and it's over 10 points. So it's not a loss, but still, I wanted to go higher. And then now it's gonna target anybody that had the stop loss right here. And here. And here. And then I'll be off for the night or morning, wherever you are. Be careful. 8:30 tomorrow morning, CBI and job claims. I believe the government is open back up. I think the shutdown, quote unquote, may be over. Man, this clown show right there. But be careful. I'll see you guys in the next one.